All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of Roll for Story, the Diamond Soul arc. Quite a session last time. We missed a week, but I've got a recap here prepared, so I can fill you all in. So after Derpshan set off the alarm, everyone was on edge, but it didn't seem as though the beast was coming to you. And Andi could hear the creature and let you know that it was very, very much awake this time. And it was stomping around. The whole marble mansion was shuddering, and even dust was sifting from the ceiling. You were told by Hanko that this beast was like a humongous feral mole. It was incredibly deadly, so deadly, in fact, that the Earth Genasi were so terrified that they refused to go back in. You tried to reason with them, stating that if they didn't do their job, then the Dow would likely throw them in the pits to face their pets. And they said they would rather that fate than assured suicide that was going back into the mansion. This should have given the party a huge red flag, but instead, Karius decided to fly off in search of the beast himself. He came to a door, listened for it, and he could hear its breaths on the other side of that very door, as well as some crunching sounds. And he didn't go back to tell the others he'd found it like he set out to do, instead gusting the door off its hinges and coming face to face with the monster. Two gargoyles were utterly crushed by its jaws and claws. The fact that it had not laid a single scratch on the beast was further signs that this was a big boy not to be messed with. It finished off the gargoyles, turning them to rubble before proceeding to climb up the wall and tearing Karius a new one, completely laying him out flat in probably under 6 seconds. By some saving grace, Eirina's devil sight was just able to see his limp body being dragged away to be devoured, and was able to antagonize the beast enough to draw it to her. Andi was still completely blind in the pitch black, so cast greater invisibility to sort of stay safe. Then you pulled out the Horn of Valhalla and called him back up in the form of 8 mighty warriors. Unfortunately, rubble came tumbling down from the ceiling when the Rampager borrowed up and caused you to lose your concentration from the falling debris. And the warriors could neither reach the creature nor dodge the rubble, instead being buried alive. Elias managed to magically slow the creature, buying some much-needed time for Karius to regenerate and get back on his feet, while Eirina lit a fire under its ass, quite literally, also giving some much-needed vision. The tide was turning as clouds of daggers shredded its softer underbelly, and Candlewick continued to blast past its kind of sluggish, evasive maneuvers. And in the end, the Rampager chose to retreat and lick its wounds. This allowed you to actually regenerate your wounds. Taking some time to regroup, the warriors dug themselves out. However, not learning from his lesson the first time, Karius decided to hop back on his glaive and went off alone a second time, knowing full well that this creature could erupt from anywhere at any time, and 100 to 0 him in a single round, even telling Kesh'an to split off on his own as well. Karius encountered what was evidently the monster's lair due to the smell and the amount of damage the room had sustained. But not being quiet about it at all, he took some time to sift around the rubble, collect some platinum bars, and then eventually he laid eyes on the real prize. An incredible, gleaming weapon mounted above the king-size bed, a flail with a giant crystal geode. It glinted in Karius's tempted eyes. Greed got the better of him, and he bounced onto the bed and snatched up the weapon. It was a lot heavier than you expected, and as the chain went taut from that weight, the geode slammed into the floor with a thud. That alerted the creature's obvious tremor sense, and once again, Karius was handed his ass to him in a small brown paper bag with a note inside that said no refunds. And then again, by some divine intervention, time stopped as we went back to the rest of the party to find out what they had been up to during Karius's Mission Impossible. And whilst broken old shields were being mended and books on stone sorcery were being perused, Elias had the premonition to suddenly ask, "Hey guys, where's Karius? Has he gone off alone again?" He immediately sped off on his flying rocking horse to follow the noise of tiefling bones snapping like twigs. And upon entering the master bedroom, Elias was struck with a sight that inflicted him with a severe case of deja vu. Karius probably would have met his end a second time had the rest of his allies not chased up and clobbered the creature with staves and tentacle rods. It was then it tried to make a run for it. Smashing through the walls like the juggernaut it was, it caused a great deal of property damage. Oops. As the bathroom wall got knocked through, and then the guest bedroom got a new exit as well. But Kesh'an went full zoomies, caught up to the coward, and delivered a sweeping sentinel strike to knock out its legs and stop it dead in its tracks, just as it was about to jump through a kind of earthy-looking wall and make probably a full escape. However, all in all, it was Eirina who finally snuffed out the monster's soul by intercepting it and with a smoky blast to the heart, put an end to the combat. And after that shit show, it was domes up, heads down, and long rest boogaloo too. So that's where we left off. You guys are inside Elias's tiny hut, and you've just finished a long rest, so you're fully recovered and healed. There we go.
Actually played his song Free as a Bard
Okay, cool.
by Lynn Redskin Red. No copyright.
No, it's a parody, so it's fine. Oh, and Yuck Mug's here as well to tell you guys. Finally caught up with you guys. He's probably here in the tiny hut as well, finishing his long rest. Now you guys kind of sped off without me there for a moment.
Wait, why were we here?
Huh?
Why were we here?
Why were we here?
Where were you?
Well, I was trying to catch up with you guys, but you ran off. You just like barged the door down, and I had smashing things, but I thought we were going in stealthy, so I went around back and couldn't get away in.
Yeah, we were going to go in stealthy until someone tripped the alarm.
Oh, that's what that was. Oops.
Yeah, if only someone had told us about those alarms before we went in. As I'm glaring at Kesh'an.
All right. But
yeah, maybe next time we should prepare better. Because if we didn't have regenerate, we would be, well, not alive, probably.
Yeah. Next time, people shouldn't just rush in without backup.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it'd be nice if people learned not to do that.
Yeah.
You miss Llewellyn that much.
I'm not sure what you're on about. I'm perfectly fine. Didn't take a single point of damage.
Again, you must
Look at me. I've got no wounds at all.
Did Llewellyn go off on his own a lot?
On his own, but usually going off with Llewellyn usually meant whoever was with him got into trouble.
Yeah.
He tended to act on impulse and go off investigating, taking one person with him, and that other person would end up having to rescue Llewellyn.
But to be fair, no way, I pulled another Llewellyn. I also got the awesome loot. I took the risk for the loot.
That
sounds about right.
Yeah. So, what do we do with this guy?
Well, I guess we drag him back to the cat. Tell him the thing's dead and the mansion's free. Probably.
How long have we got the How long have we got the berserkers for?
I'm afraid they returned to Valhalla after an hour, so they would have probably
I was
said
gonna
their
say they could
goodbyes.
have helped us carry it, but
Well, I think they
sorry.
chopped into pieces, right? So it's smaller pieces. We could put those in the
You
bag.
could have had
Put
them
at
do
least
that.
part of the bag of part of it in the bag of holding.
I will play the berserk as a banging Nordic tune to
Nice.
see them out.